Welcome to the Library Hall. I'm your host, Cedar Dunn, and I'm very excited to welcome you to our New Year's special. So I thought today, it's actually a pretty jam-packed day. We're going to go through 10 books that will help us move into this new year. I'm wearing my sparkly shirt for you because it is a time of celebration. I think it's also a time, still a little bit of rest and reflection from last year. But as we start to get acclimated to being in 2024, I think there's a lot of books that can help us. And these are the ones that I'm looking forward to checking out. And I thought you might be interested in them as well. So let's get started. The first book is called Gonzo Capitalism by Chris Gillibro. I think I'm saying that right. And I actually read it last month and I thought it was a very cool book. So it basically talks about all the new ways people are making money in the economy, specifically in the US, but probably around the world, by all different ways, like AI and by live streaming and betting and multi-working. He goes over all these really interesting examples of how people are making money in what would have been considered an unusual way not that long ago. And he goes through examples, and I thought it was really fascinating. It gave me some ideas of things I just wanted to look further into, do a little more research on. So I thought it was very interesting. So a neat book for the new year if you are wanting to explore some different avenues for your hobbies or for your job even. Okay, and in that same vein of work or projects, I thought of an older book that I thought would be kind of perfect for this new year to share with you. It's called Everything is Figureoutable by Marie Forleo. And what I really like about this book is that it's very oriented toward the person that is starting something, be it a project or a business, and they need help starting it, getting it through the middle and to the finish line. I think she does a really great job of going through all the different steps you might need to. One thing that was very helpful to me was I've always been the type of person that has a lot of different little projects started and not really finished. And so she actually, through that book, convinced me I need to work on one project at a time. This may be obvious to other people, but for me, it was like, okay, I've heard this for a long time, but now I finally get it, that that's what I need to do. And it's really helped me. I've actually been able to accomplish some things and finish things that I hadn't been able to before. So I recommend this book if that is something that you are looking for some help on in this new year. Speaking of Marie Forleo, she had a guest on her podcast who goes by the name Glucose Goddess on Instagram. I'll link to that interview below in the show notes because it's a great interview. And this woman is a scientist and she's French and she's really discovered the power of monitoring her glucose levels to help heal her own body. And she has some really practical tips. And so I am excited to read this book called The Glucose Revolution, The Life-Changing Power of Balancing Your Blood Sugar. So I, like many of you have probably indulged a little bit over the holidays. Who doesn't love chocolate? I mean, it is what it is, right? So I'm looking forward to kind of pressing the reset button and trying to get my health under control a little bit more and get my eating habits better, sleep better, feel better, all the things. So I am actually was really inspired by that interview. I'm going to read The Glucose Revolution. I'm also going to read The Glucose Goddess Method, which is the cookbook that she has and some other tips for it. So I'd recommend watching the interview and picking up the books if that's something of interest to you. I'm excited about it. The next book is called Mocktail Party, and it has some really delicious looking recipes in it. And I love the idea of having a special drink that is non-alcoholic. So I love wine, but I also love mixed drinks, which I really don't drink that much anymore. But I love the idea of creating special drinks. And there's a lot of people that don't drink. So it's nice to have a book on hand where it's a bunch of recipes for mocktails. So if that's one of your resolutions is to be drinking less alcohol, this might be a fun book to have on hand to create some drinks that taste very much like the real thing I think, but are obviously much healthier for you. So Mocktail Party. I'm excited to check that one out. The other book I'm going to be picking up this month is Stretching, 40th Anniversary book. One goal I have this year, and I hope I can do it, is I would love to stretch more. This maybe is so weird, but like I'm pretty good with the cardio and the weightlifting, but the stretching, I am not good at stretching. And I'd like to be, because I feel like I saw an interview once with an actress. Maybe it was like Lucy Liu. I don't know, but it was someone. And of course, she looked amazing and she was in her 40s. And they asked her what her secret was. And she was like, stretching. I stretch every day. I keep limber. And I was like, oh, I put that in my pocket and I haven't done anything about it. But I have this goal for this year of actually stretching and becoming more flexible. So I think it's a good goal. And I'm going to get this book and see if it can help me. The next book is called If the Buddha Dated, a handbook for finding love on a spiritual path. And I read this book many years ago, and I just thought it was really helpful. I loved her writing style. It was very light and practical and loving and everything you might expect for something that falls under that book title. And so when I saw that she has a book called If the Buddha Married, Creating Enduring Relationships on a Spiritual Path, I have decided I'm going to be reading that in the new year because I am in a relationship and I loved her first book. And I imagine the second book is going to be just as good, with really great practical help and advice as far as being a good partner and being in a loving relationship. So if that's one of your goals, is to improve your relationship or to improve if you're dating, to improve your ability to connect with people or be discerning about who you want to be with, I would definitely recommend her first book. And along similar lines, in this new year, I want to, as always, recommit to the spiritual path. I think it's so important in life to have that. I think it creates a lot of peace in your life. And if we create peace within our own lives, we can see peace reflected in the world at large, I believe. And so whether that means going to church or reading spiritual texts, I'm very excited to continue down that path. And one of the books I think I'm going to reread this year, early in the year, is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And I read this a few years back and I just really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna pick it up again and see what speaks to me this time around. There's so many beautiful spiritual books. This is the one I'm gonna read early on, but I'll be reporting out throughout the year other books that I think you might like as well. The last book I'm gonna recommend for the new year is called Congratulations, the Best is Over. And this is a very funny book. I've started it. I'm enjoying it. I really loved this guy's first or other book called Here for It, or How to Save Your Soul in America. He is very funny. I get his newsletter. There's lots of pop culture references and he just makes me laugh. So I'm excited to read this book. Finish reading it. And I think it's important to, as we go into the new year, keep laughing, keep our spirits up, do whatever we can to keep joy in our hearts, because I know there's a lot of, terrible and sad things going on this planet. So whatever we can do to be joyful and to be loving to ourselves and the people around us, that will just extend out in ways I think we don't even really understand or know. So I hope you enjoyed this list of books. I hope you have a wonderful new year. I hope you had a beautiful holiday and New Year's Eve. And I will catch you next time on the Library Hall. Hey there! If you liked this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel. To support us, please use the links in the video description or at libraryhall.com to purchase the featured books. Thanks for watching!